All right, so are you ready to dive deep? Because today we're going to be looking at the respond function of the NIST Cybersecurity Framework.
Oh, yeah.
You know that crucial part about knowing what to do when, not if, a cyber incident hits.
Right.
Think about it this way. Remember that time your computer crashed right before a big deadline?
Oh, yeah.
Total panic,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
But what if you had a plan?
Hmm.
A step-by-step guide to get back on track?
Right.
That's what the respond function is all about.
Yeah.
Our source material today is a podcast episode called Structured Approach to Cybersecurity, breaking down the NIST CSF core function respond.
Okay.
And lucky for us, we've got an expert here who can help us sift through it all and find those golden nuggets of wisdom.
Well, the first thing to understand is that respond isn't just about reacting in the heat of the moment.
Okay.
It's about having that game plan before things go sideways.
Right.
Like a well-rehearsed fire drill for your entire IT team.
So it's more about preparation than putting out fires.
Exactly. The NIST framework breaks the respond function down into 6 key components.
Okay.
We've got activation, containment, eradication, recovery, communication, and post-incident analysis.
Okay, let's break those down, starting with activation.
Sure.
It sounds pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
but I'm guessing there's more to it than just hitting the panic button.
Speed is key, of course. The moment a cybersecurity event is detected, whether it's a data breach, malware, or unauthorized access, you need to be able to kick your response plan into gear instantly.
Right.
But it's not just about having a plan.
Okay.
It's about having a plan that's been drilled, rehearsed, and internalized by everyone on the team.
So more like a muscle memory reaction than a frantic scramble through a dusty manual.
Precisely. Everyone needs to know their role, the communication channels, who to contact, and what steps to take immediately.
So let's say a hacker manages to slip through the cracks and you've got malware spreading through the network. What happens then?
That's where containment comes in. It's all about limiting the damage, like a digital quarantine. You might isolate compromised systems, disconnect affected networks, or even block specific user accounts.
Right.
The goal is to stop the bleeding, essentially.
So it's like containing a fire, preventing it from spreading to the rest of the building.
Exactly. And that's where thinking ahead really pays off.
Right.
If you've already segmented your network, for example, you can isolate the affected areas much more quickly and effectively.
So you're not just putting out fires. You're designing the building to be fire-resistant in the first place.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. But what about actually getting rid of the threat? That's eradication, right?
That's right. And here's a key insight.
Okay.
Eradication isn't just about deleting malware.
Right.
It's about finding the root cause of the breach. How did the attacker get in?
Okay.
Was it a phishing email?
Uh-huh.
A vulnerable software version?
Right.
You need to address that underlying weakness to prevent the same attack from happening again.
So it's like fixing a broken window, A&D figuring out how to reinforce it so it doesn't get smashed again.
Exactly. Eradication is about understanding the attacker's methods and patching those vulnerabilities.
Right.
Whether it's through software updates, security patches, or even better employee training.
Okay, so we've activated the plan, contained the damage, and scribed the threat. What comes next?
Recovery.
Yeah.
It's time to get your systems and data back online and functioning normally.
Okay.
This might involve restoring from backups, bringing systems back online carefully, and rigorously testing everything to ensure it's clean before reconnecting to the network.
I imagine that's a delicate process.
Yep.
You wouldn't want to rush back into using a compromised system without making absolutely sure it's safe.
Absolutely. And remember, recovery isn't just about getting things back to how they were.
Wow.
It's also a chance to improve your security posture. What could have prevented this incident in the first place? What can we do better next time?
So it's like turning a negative experience into a positive one by using it as fuel to become more resilient. But there's one thing we haven't touched on yet. Communication.
That's right. And it's a critical component.
Okay.
You need to keep everyone informed throughout the entire process. Your internal team's management, legal, and even external stakeholders like customers, partners, and regulators if necessary.
So transparency is key.
Absolutely. Especially if sensitive data has been compromised.
Right.
You need to notify affected individuals quickly and comply with data breach laws like the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR in Europe, and the California Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA, in the U.S. These regulations are in place to protect individuals' data and hold organizations accountable.
Right. Because a delayed or botched response can damage trust and even lead to legal consequences.
Yeah.
So communication isn't just about sharing information.
Right.
It's about managing the narrative and maintaining trust. But let's be honest, sometimes things go wrong, even with the best plans.
That's why post-incident analysis is so important. It's all about taking a step back after the dust settles and asking,
Okay.
what went well? What could we have done better? How can we improve our response for next time?
So it's less about assigning blame and more about turning the experience into a learning opportunity.
Precisely. It's about fostering a culture of continuous improvement. You analyze the incident, identify areas for improvement, update your response plan, and practice, practice, practice.
Right?
It's a cycle that helps you strengthen your cybersecurity posture over time.
So every cyber incident, no matter how small, can be a valuable lesson. What's fascinating here is that this respond function isn't just about reacting to a crisis.
Right.
It's about building a culture of resilience.
Yes.
We'll be back after a short break to explore how this all comes together and what it means for you. Stay tuned.
Sounds good.
So, before the break, we were talking about turning a negative experience into a positive one.
Right.
And it made me think about how the respond function itself can be seen as a way to build resilience.
Yeah. It's a great point. You're absolutely right. It's about shifting our mindset from if a cyber attack happens to when it happens.
Right.
Because in today's world, it's not really a question of if but when.
And that's why having a solid response strategy is so crucial. It allows organizations to not just survive a cyber attack,
Right.
but to actually bounce back stronger and more secure.
Precisely. The respond function provides a framework for not only dealing with the immediate crisis, but also for learning from it and improving your security posture for the future.
So every incident, even a near miss,
Right.
becomes a chance to refine your processes and get better at defending yourself.
Exactly. Think of it like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets.
Right.
Every time you activate your respond plan, whether it's for a real attack or a simulated drill, you're strengthening your organization's ability to handle cyber threats.
That makes a lot of sense. It's not just about checking boxes and having a plan on paper.
Right.
It's about building a culture of awareness and preparedness within your organization.
Absolutely. It's about making cybersecurity everyone's responsibility.
Right.
And empowering your team to act quickly and effectively when faced with a threat.
And that brings us back to the importance of that sixth component of the respond function.
Yes.
Post-incident analysis.
Right. This is where we really dig deep into the lessons learned.
Okay.
What worked well during the incident? What could we have done better? How can we adjust our processes and training to improve our response next time?
So it's not about pointing fingers or playing the blame game.
Right.
It's about having an open and honest discussion about how to improve as a team.
Exactly. It's about fostering a culture of continuous improvement where every incident, even a minor one, is seen as an opportunity to learn and grow.
It strikes me that this whole respond function really highlights the human element of cybersecurity. It's not just about firewalls and antivirus software.
Right.
It's about people, processes, and communication.
I couldn't agree more. Technology plays a crucial role, of course.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's people who make the decisions and take the actions that determine how effectively you respond to a cyber incident.
And that's why having a well-rehearsed plan, regular training, and open communication channels are so critical.
Yes.
It's about empowering your team to act confidently and decisively when the pressure is on.
Absolutely. Because when a cyber attack hits, every second counts.
Right.
A well-prepared team can minimize the damage, contain the threat, and get your systems back online much faster than a team that's scrambling to figure out what to do.
I think what's fascinating here is that the respond function isn't just about reacting to a crisis. It's about proactively building resilience into your organization.
I love that way of putting it. It's about anticipating threats, preparing for them, and using every experience as an opportunity to learn and grow.
And the great thing is that the NIST Cybersecurity Framework, and specifically the respond function, isn't just for large corporations or tech giants.
Right.
It's a valuable resource for organizations of all sizes.
Absolutely.
From small businesses to government agencies.
The principles of the respond function are universal. Preparation, swift action, clear communication, and a commitment to learning and adapting.
Okay.
These are the foundations of a robust cybersecurity posture, no matter what size or type of organization you are.
Thinking back to the story we shared earlier about the business owner who lost everything in a fire because they didn't practice their escape plan. It really drives home the importance of preparation.
It's a powerful analogy. A plan on paper is only useful if you know how to execute it in a real-world situation.
Right.
Regular drills and exercises are essential to make sure your team knows what to do when the alarm bells start ringing.
And it's not just about technical skills either. It's about building that muscle memory, instilling a sense of urgency, and ensuring that everyone understands their role in the response process.
Exactly. It's about creating a culture where cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility, not just the IT departments.
So we've talked about the 6 key components of the respond function.
Right.
Activation, containment, eradication, recovery, communication, and post-incident analysis. We've explored the importance of preparation, communication, and continuous improvement.
Yes.
But I think it's also crucial to emphasize that the respond function is ultimately about building a culture of resilience within your organization.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's about moving beyond the fear of cyber attacks and embracing the reality that incidents will happen.
Right.
It's about equipping your team with the knowledge, skills, and confidence to handle those incidents, effectively minimize the damage, and emerge stronger on the other side.
It's about turning those what-if scenarios into we've got this moments.
Exactly. And remember, the respond function isn't a static checklist.
Right.
It's a dynamic process that should be continuously reviewed, updated, and practiced as the threat landscape evolves.
It's like a living document that adapts and grows alongside your organization.
Precisely.
Right.
And as you become more familiar with the respond function and start implementing its principles,
you'll find that it's not just about cybersecurity. It's about building a more resilient and adaptable organization overall.
That's a fantastic point, because cyber threats are just one type of disruption that organizations face today.
Right.
The ability to respond effectively to any crisis, whether it's a natural disaster, a financial downturn, or a pandemic, is essential for long-term success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the respond function provides a valuable framework for developing that resilience. It teaches you how to assess risks, plan for contingencies, communicate effectively, and learn from every experience.
So it's not just about protecting yourself from cyber attacks.
Right.
It's about building an organization that can weather any storm.
I love that metaphor, because at the end of the day, that's what resilience is all about. The ability to bend without breaking, to adapt to changing circumstances, and to emerge from challenges stronger than before.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the respond function, and I think our listeners are getting a real sense of its power and importance.
But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something to ponder. Something to really put this knowledge into practice.
I'm all ears.
Imagine for a moment that you've just experienced a minor cybersecurity incident.
Okay.
Maybe it was a phishing email that slipped through the filters, or a suspicious login attempt that was blocked by your security software.
Okay.
How would you apply the principles of the respond function in this situation?
Right.
What steps would you take immediately?
That's a great exercise, because it forces you to think through the process before you're actually facing a crisis.
Right.
It helps you identify any gaps in your plan, test your communication channels, and build that muscle memory we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. It's about moving from theory to practice, from passive awareness to active preparedness.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone. There are tons of resources available to help you understand and implement the respond function.
Right.
The NIST website itself is a great starting point, and there are countless cybersecurity communities, forums, and online courses where you can connect with experts and learn from others' experiences.
That's a great point, because cybersecurity is a constantly evolving field, and it's impossible for any one person to know everything.
Right.
There's so much value in sharing knowledge, collaborating with others, and learning from each other's successes and failures.
Absolutely. Cybersecurity is a team sport, and the more we share information and support each other, the stronger we all become.
Well, this has been an incredibly insightful conversation, and I think we've really unpacked the essence of the respond function.
Yeah.
But before we move on to our final thoughts, I want to invite our listeners to continue this discussion with us on social media.
Great idea.
Use the hashtag #CyberRespondReady to share your thoughts, your experiences, your questions, anything related to this topic. We'd love to hear from you and keep this conversation going.
I love that hashtag #CyberRespondReady. It's a call to action, a reminder that we all have a role to play in building a more secure digital world.
Absolutely. So until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and most importantly, stay #CyberRespondReady. It's interesting how we've been using these metaphors like muscles and fire drills to describe the respond function. It really emphasizes the importance of active preparation and practice.
It's true. It's not enough to just have a plan in place. You really need to test it, refine it, and make sure your team is comfortable executing it under pressure.
Because when a real cyber incident happens, you don't want to be fumbling through a manual or second-guessing your decisions.
Exactly. It's like any other emergency situation.
Right.
You need to be able to react quickly and confidently based on your training and preparation.
And that's what the respond function gives you. A framework for building that resilience and that confidence.
It's about empowering organizations to not just survive a cyber attack, but to thrive in the face of adversity.
To turn those oh no moments into we've got this moments.
Precisely. It's about shifting your mindset from being reactive to proactive, from being afraid of cyber threats to being prepared for them.
And the beauty of the respond function is that it's scalable and adaptable. It works for organizations of all sizes.
Absolutely.
From small businesses to multinational corporations.
The core principles of preparation, communication, and continuous improvement are universal.
So whether you're a tech-savvy startup or a traditional brick-and-mortar business, the respond function can help you build a more secure and resilient organization.
And remember, it's not a one-time fix. It's an ongoing process. It's a continuous journey of learning, adapting, and improving.
Think of it like a feedback loop. You experience an incident. You analyze what happened, you adjust your plan, and you practice again and again.
And with each iteration, you become stronger and better prepared for the next challenge.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the respond function, I want to leave you with a final thought, something to really take to heart.
I'm listening.
The respond function isn't just about cybersecurity. It's about building a culture of resilience, a culture where everyone understands the importance of preparation, communication, and continuous improvement.
It's about creating an organization that can weather any storm, whether it's a cyber attack, a natural disaster, or any other unexpected disruption.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just about protecting your data.
It's true.
It's about protecting your people, your reputation, and your future.
Well said. I think we've covered a lot of ground today, and hopefully our listeners are feeling more informed and empowered to take action.
And remember, this is just the beginning. The respond function is a powerful tool, but it's up to you to put it into practice.
Explore the resources we mentioned, connect with other cybersecurity professionals, and most importantly, start building that culture of resilience within your own organization.
Because in today's world, being #CyberRespondReady isn't just a hashtag. It's a necessity.
Couldn't agree more.
So until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay #CyberRespondReady.